And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show. He is the new head coach of the Grand Terrace Titans, Chris Mailo. And Coach, first off, congratulations on the gig at Grand Terrace High School. You know, I know you're a former head coach at Colton. You know, if you're a head coach once, do you always just kind of have that itch? Like, you know, it's good to be an assistant, it's good to be a coordinator, but, you know, I kind of have that itch to be on the sidelines and calling all the shots. Did you feel like in the back of your mind you wanted to be a head coach again somewhere?
I, you never say never, but yeah, it was like if the opportunity ever came up again, I would throw my name in the hat.
And Coach, you know, I know, you know, in recent years you have been a coordinator, you have been helping out at Grand Terrace, but is it still, I don't know, kind of weird to be wearing Grand Terrace colors, being a Colton High School former Colton High School head coach, making that transition?
You know, the first time it was awkward because the first time we played them, it was at their place. So yeah, it was strange standing on the other side of the sideline. But you get used to it. I mean, I'm a CNG grad, so same colors at Grand Terrace, so I kind of feel back at home.
Yeah. And then, you know, I think last year was Sanji and Grand Terrace, I think, in the same league. I don't know if you guys will be this upcoming season because the Arrowhead Conference kind of bounces teams around, but
yeah, I'm still trying to figure that stuff
yeah.
out. Like I said, I wasn't there last year. I didn't coach, so I'm trying to figure it out myself right now as we're going.
Yeah, it's hard because it changes from sport to sport, and it changes from
Yes.
season to season. So I think last year was maybe Grand Terrace and Sanji and Kaiser.
If
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
mistaken, I think Sanji was in the top tier. I don't know, there's like three tiers or something.
Yeah. So it's hard to figure out. So, Coach, what are some things that you can do? You know, right now, here we are. You know, first month of March. I don't know if you have off-season lifting, spring ball. I don't know if you do 7-on-7, but what are some things that you can do right now to kind of, you know, get your hands a little dirty and start, you know, building this team for the fall?
Oh well, I mean we're already in the weight room. I got some great coaches that are there every day, 3 to 4:30. They're getting it done. We're getting 25, 30 kids in consistently 4 days a week. So that's what I mean, for me, it starts in the weight room. We haven't got into 7-on-7 stuff yet. We want to run the ball anyways. But moving forward, I mean, we'll probably start spring ball April 4th. We come back from spring break.
Are you looking forward to, you know, being a head coach and all that goes along with it? And I just ask this because a lot of former head coaches will say, "Man, it's so nice being an assistant because I coach the kids up, and when we're done with practice, I go home, I see my wife, I see my kids, and I forget about everything." But as the head coach, I mean, you know, everything at the end of the day kind of falls on your shoulders. But did you kind of embrace that challenge so you can put your stamp on the program that you're the guy now?
I'm embracing it. Good thing is I live in the community. My kids go there. I have a senior and a sophomore there now. My daughter will be there in 2 years. So I mean, yeah, I'm embracing it. You wear a lot of hats, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of these kids I've seen them grow up, and if you really look at it, that Grand Terrace never opened 10 years ago. They still be at Colton High. You know,
Yeah, that's definitely a rivalry game, Colton and Grand Terrace. Coach, about Grand Terrace, you know, you talked about say never about, you know, being a head coach again. Were you waiting for the right spot? And was Grand Terrace, you're like, okay, if Grand Terrace ever opened up again, I'd look at it, I'd consider it. Like, what was it about Grand Terrace? You're like, okay, yeah, this is my time to jump back in.
well, I worked there already. I work security in the district, so I'm on site, and it was just I always said, if the opportunity ever arose again, I'd take that, take an opportunity and do it, go through the whole process compared to last time. And it just happened this year, and started talking to some of my old buddies, like, hey, man, this thing may open up and we're hearing. I throw my hat in there. If it happens, you guys on board? And they all said, yeah. So I went through the process and was named the head coach on the Thursday after a board meeting. Next Friday, we had a team meeting with the kids, and then Monday we started lifting. Been in there ever since.
Coach, do you think the way you coach has has changed or will change since your Colton days? Do you think the game has changed at all? The way people, I know you said you wanted to run the football. Now everyone wants to spread it out and score 60 points per game. But do you feel like you will coach any differently?
Um, I learned a lot of things the first go around. Put it that way. Things I'll do different. Um, yeah, everybody likes the college stuff and be flashy and stuff. I'm old school. Give me 3-4 yards in a cloud of dust, move the chains, stay ahead of the chains, play good defense, fly around, play physical, play fast, and get the ball back. And your best defense is watching your offense go up and down the field, in my opinion. When you look across the field and when they can't stop you, there's nothing you can do about it. And as a former defensive coordinator, that is frustrating, just to watch someone else just running down your throat, basically, and there's nothing you can do about it.
So definitely those long time consuming drives, right, where the offense just holds on to the football, like you said, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. 10 minutes later, you punch one into the end zone, and the other team's like, "Where did the first half go?" Like it's almost over now. That's kind of your style, right?
Yeah, Harold Strauss was my mentor, a second father to me. So I learned everything. Everything offensively is I got from him. So you make the game simple, get the kids to, line up right, know their assignment, and go execute and play fast and play physical.
You know what? I'm glad you brought up the late great Harold Strauss. Coach, what are some other things that you picked up from him along the way that you can still apply, you can still implement to a team in 2022? Because at the end of the day, football is football, right? So what are some things that you learned from him that you feel like can still work?
It's always about the kids and getting on the community and giving back. I like to, that's my goal, is giving back into this community. And it becomes one big family. And, just doing the little things off the field, being a good person, being a good student. When you do the small things right, everything adds up to the big picture. So that's what we're looking to do, is continue that, and and I like to honor and take the honor and finish what he started here at Grand Terrace.
Hey, Coach, finally, I look at Grand Terrace and, it's got a great football stadium. I think the school population, you got a good number of kids out there that you can draw from to play football. I feel like this is a place that can win, especially being in the Arrowhead Athletic Conference. It's very competitive. I feel like you guys should be able to play with any of those teams. Do you feel like this is a program that, should have some success?
I think so. You got a good mix of kids, starting to work hard. We have to change the culture a little bit. And that's what we're trying to do right now. Starts in the weight room and everything from there. We take it out on the field, and it's about molding a young man. Kids and the young man. And at the end of the day, we want them to be better fathers, better husbands. It's about the next doctor, the next lawyer, the next Pet Fernandez. Whatever it is, in life, that these guys go on to be better young men.
Coach, do you one follow-up question, got me to thinking about, any former players that played for you that have grown up now and they've come back and you're trying to bring them on maybe as coaches now. Has that cycle, come back around?
I was hoping to get Jimmy Smith. He was talking about retiring with the Ravens. And but it sounds like he's going to sign up, and continue out his NFL career. So that's awesome. But, I like to reach out to Alan and maybe even Terrace, and see if they want to jump on board. But I know those guys are busy and they have their families going on, and I get it. But, I know those guys come through. I talk to them. I mean, I guess sometimes these guys will text me, Happy Father's Day. They don't even have to do that, but it's important, and it means a lot to me.
And I think that goes back to like what you were saying. Obviously you want to win football games, but you're grooming men of character and, and good fathers and husbands and all those sorts of things. So if a guy who's, making millions of dollars playing on Sundays still is reaching out to their high school coach to say some things, obviously you were pouring into him and it stuck.
Yeah. And it feels good, because, you see these guys doing, great things in life, now that they have kids and they're married, and it's awesome to see that you played a small piece of that.
Coach, listen, this is a good time for high school football in the IE. It's a good time for Grand Terrace, but it's hard not to think about those Colton days, about 15 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, and, the late 2000s, about how many great players came through there. Do you ever look back and you're like, wow, man, that maybe that'll never happen again. So many great players and great teams, and a legend with Strauss, man, what a time.
Yeah, I look back. We put out some old DVDs, Smalls and I, last week, and we started going over some of the stuff and watching stuff, and we were just like, man, we were loaded. And yeah, so you look back at those things, and and the nice thing is, cool thing is there it's the kids are still always around. They always reach out to us. We follow each other on social media. They're laughing because they're watching my kids. I even have, what's crazy is I have my kids now are playing with some of their kids, so we were late starters, my wife and
I. Well, Coach, listen, congratulations on the Grand Terrace gig. I can't wait to see you guys in action this upcoming fall. And if you guys do any 7-on-7 stuff or whatever, make sure you hit us up. We'd love to come out there and check you guys out.
Sounds good. I appreciate the time, pal.
Yes, sir. That is Chris Mailo, the new head football coach for the Grand Terrace Titans, right here on the Inland Sports Show.